Students, society, join me, Benjamin Murubani, your host, in a student mental, emotional, and psychological well-being podcast, engaging with professionals, affected individuals, last but not least, people from different organizations in our studio. Welcome to WeNowListening with BM, a podcast. Ciao.
Hey yo, what up everybody? Welcome to another whooping episode. And before we get to what we'll be talking today about, since you guys know that it's a Pride Month, hence we are featuring a themed LGBTQI plus IA plus. Thank you for the correction. A title or topic. So today we'll just be discussing anything that has to deal with the development of like the LGBTQIA plus.
Just say queer community.
Okay. Umbrella. So basically we'll just be talking about the development, the acceptance, the awareness, the disclosure, and everything that comes with it. So yes, I hope you're gonna enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and please share it with everyone that you guys know. Let's grow the channel. 500 subs, guys. We're doing this. So yeah, before we get into it, can you guys please just explain yourselves and introduce yourselves like in full?
Okay. Do you want to start, Beyonce?
Of course. Hi guys, my name is Salty and I'm one half of the Salty and Themba show right here on YouTube. Please go check us out, like, comment, subscribe, check out all our content, period.
That's it about you? What is that?
No, like
Oh.
But it's actually not fully because like you have to explain your identity.
Yeah.
Yes.
My pronouns are he, him, his, and I identify as a homosexual man. Cisgender homosexual.
Next.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Themba Hamilton. I'll still say Hamilton, even though people have issues with that. But then, yeah, I'm Themba Hamilton, and my pronouns are he, him as well. I'm homosexual, and currently studying my honors in quantitative risk management. Yeah, that's it about me.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful, yeah?
That is a mouthful. Hi everyone, I'm Koketso Mentor. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I identify as a black, beautiful, pansexual woman. I'm a radio personality, actor, MC. I don't like to talk about my studies, but yes, that is who I am.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't aware that we were taking out CVs and stuff.
Oh, you want to take out the CV?
You can do that.
Beyonce.
So, your surname is Mentor.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually thought like you're a mentor.
I kind of am. I live up to my surname as best as I can. I give terrible advice, but it's good advice. Like in hindsight, you're like, actually, I needed that.
Nah, that's nice, man. So okay, like firstly, what we're just gonna be discussing, it's all about you guys, and like you guys are representing whoever that you stand for, and I'm just here to witness like all the great stuff and all the useful information that we'll be learning today. So the first thing will be like life experience, starting first with like development. Like according to your development, how have you lived? Like isolated, like living in the shadows, or like I just want to know, how did you come about with your development as who you are?
All right.
I think Beyonce will start.
Of course. For me, I think I have like a pretty, like my story is people are able to relate to it, you know. Back home, growing up like in primary and in high school, I battled with my sexuality like a lot. Because I was raised in a Christian home where if you are not this way, then you're a sin, you know. If you don't live according to the
Bible's rules,
yes, then anything that you do beyond that is a a sin, you know. So I struggled with my sexuality. As I said, in Sarah's video, I used to be sent to my room to go pray the gay away. And it wasn't really just praying the gay away, it was because I used to hang out with girls. You know, most of my friends were females. So my parents used to send me to my room to go pray, and I would go back to school and try and make friends with like guys, and then it wouldn't work out, and then I'd fall back into, you know,
who you are.
Yeah, exactly, you know. So,
but at that point, were they aware that you're gay?
I wasn't even aware.
So why were they telling you to pray?
Because it was different. Yeah, they were aware.
I think they were, because the minute, sorry to interject, but I think as a parent, when you start to see certain habits or behaviors, or you know, the way this person speaks, their mannerisms, then with time you're like, that's it. Something like.
But they always know, man.
They always know, you know. Not always, but for the most part, I think they do, and hence they would make you pray it away. And you're not gonna say hallelujah titties. It's not gonna happen.
So, like, what about your story, man?
With me, I never had it hard, if that makes sense. Cause yeah. No mind that, guys. But then yeah, with me it's always been easy. I never had such questions from home, and they never even, like, I was never experiencing any homophobic at home, you see. So it wasn't difficult. So I've been myself everywhere. I've been comfortable as well. But then I started having issues when I got in high school. You know, there's always those old boys in class and all that. They're going to discriminate and do all that. There wasn't even enough room to go to the bathrooms. You see, that's how bad it was. But then, yeah, the transitioning, coming to varsity, meeting something made it very easy for me. You know, having someone who's like you by your side, you see. So it's, yeah, that's my story.
Period.
My next.
Yeah, you are.
Gosh, I'm so nervous. I think for me, it was not necessarily difficult or painful in any way. The only difficulty I can say I had was like being open about it, and that initial like conflict, like inner conflict and confusion. And I think the only difficult experience is like with myself, because I didn't speak to anyone about it. Only I knew what was going on, right? And I would watch TV and see certain things like, okay, maybe I am normal. Maybe this is actually what happens. But because I was exposed so much to like heteronormativity, and all I know is man and woman, and that is it, boy and girl, and it's drilled into your head from like childhood. And you get to primary and teachers will make jokes about, oh, boys, you guys are going to send letters to the girls for Valentine's Day, whatnot. And yes, there would be an odd boy here and there that I would be like attracted to or whatever. But then the attraction to like girls, it was like, for the longest time, I like tried to not befriend girls, because I was like, hey, what if now I start looking at this person funny, you know? But it wouldn't be the case. I could hang around like normal like girls and I wouldn't feel anything. Then there would be like one or two girls like, yo. During the entire.
You take me to places of
So slowly with time, I would meet people like me, and I wouldn't like voice it. I wouldn't say, hey,
you know,
even me. But I could sense that, okay, I've got like community here, you know. So I would just like move into those spaces more. And it became easier when I got to high school, when I got to varsity, and I saw people. I was like, yes, for once, you know, because I don't know about you, but me, I always have to fight to find a gay person. Like, even if they're not necessarily a girl, I literally have to, any space that I go into, my first thought is always, okay, am I going to meet someone like me today? Because as much as I have heterosexual friends who understand me and accept me, they will never walk my journey. They will never truly know what I feel. And the conversations that go on will never be the same as that I have with Salty, as the conversations that I have with you, because he understands the psyche of a queer person, you understand, even if we're not of the same exact identity. So yeah, that's the only really conflict I experienced was with myself, and I never saw the need for me to come out. I guess me coming out was just being part of the campus pride subcommittee, and my mom was like, and then and I was like, and then I was like, breaking news.
So like, if I get this right, like gay people are like men who are attracted to men. Is it how it is? Is it?
Yeah, but like some lesbians also identify as
As
gay.
gays.
Yeah.
So it's
I feel
girls
like
who are.
attracted to girls as well.
Yeah, actually, that's how I understood it. So I just wanted to make sure. I was giving an advice to. If you're not sure, please ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to like highlight something. It's a
Yeah.
good thing that you do ask, but another thing to note is that I think people think that as a queer person you'll have the answer to every little thing.
Oh.
And that's not the case. Sometimes even we don't know certain things. Like other things you hear them come out and you're like, oh, that's what it is. You understand? Or someone, because a lot of these things also, gender and sexuality are fluid. There's no absolute meaning to anything. It changes all the time, whether for you or for the entire community, because time changes. People do more research, they become, you become more aware. So it's important to ask, but as a queer person, also never feel the pressure to know everything off the bat. Because that's what I always say. When someone asks me something I'm not sure, I'm like, hey, Google is free, guys. Like, I can only tell you so much. Thereafter, I won't. Yeah.
Oh, but before we advise people to go to Google, can you just like try to explain to us what is it? Like, you said you pay, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you just like small definition so that people can? Yeah.
Okay. So before I used to say bisexual, and there was this thing now with identifying as bisexual. Okay, if you're attracted to the two genders, which there's way more genders than that, but if you're attracted to the two genders, it means then you're transphobic. Meaning that you are not attracted to people who are transitioning or are non-binary or identify as otherwise, or I think I've mentioned enough. So I had that little battle with myself. I know that I'm not transphobic. I know that I've been with a person that is trans, or I would not care to, I would want to be with someone who is trans. So then I was like, okay, maybe pansexual is more inclusive. But I also don't care if someone calls me bisexual. I don't mind it. I just nowadays say pansexual, or I'll say bi-pan, in order for people to just catch it like that. But so a person that's pansexual is attracted to people regardless of their gender. You do consider the gender, but it's not necessarily the first thing you look at. Like if you walk into a room and I'm attracted to skin, like, yo, what a beautiful abuti. But it's not like I'm saying I'm going out with the intention of looking for a man, or looking for a woman, or looking for a cis woman. Yeah.
So like the another question that I wanted to ask, it actually like more too much like directed to you, because you said like your parents knew but you didn't know. Because like the first thing is awareness. When did you realize that okay, I'm this, or I'm that, or I'm who, or like the correct word, English word slaps me, so yeah. I think you give me.
I do. I feel like everyone else around me realized before I did. So I remember the first instance was in preschool. As I said, I used to gravitate more towards girls, So I remember my entire grade literally gathered around me and they called me a sissy girl. So for me, my first encounter with other people realizing my sexuality was bullying. It came at an instance of bullying. So that's why like I've had this battle with it, because I associated it with bullying. And then the next encounter was like in grade 3, where now I was called a stallion. Hate that word. So that's another like encounter that I had with like sexuality, you know what I mean? So then that's why like I also neglected like just the self-discovery and all of that, because I was like, you know what, I don't even want to like think about it like that, And then when I went home, my parents were opposed to that as well, So I never had like a safe space until I got to varsity. So I feel like varsity is where I got to discover and become aware more because I started meeting people like me. I started meeting our Themba, and that's where I started like becoming more aware. No, I was aware.
Yeah.
But I had just like turned my back on it, until I got here.
Sure. And that's so deep.
Some people, they even think, you change or decide to be what you are.
Mm.
It's not like that, guys. That's
It
one
really
thing you
is.
should know as well. It's not like that. We are born like this. So, yeah.
Actually, on that, people will try to like nitpick at your sentences and be like, also, if you didn't choose to be gay, how come this person dated men for the longest time and then all of a sudden they're dating women? Some people discover these things as time progresses. Other people do decide that, you know what, actually, I'm done with men or I'm done with women. And that's also perfectly fine because the most important thing is for you to finally come home to yourself and realize that actually it's important to that's all that matters at the end of the day. The fact that you had the courage in a world that tells you every single day that it's wrong to be who you are. The fact that you just took that and you say, no, I'm done. I need to be who I am. That's the most important thing.
When did you realize it?
With me, I've always been like this, as I've said, but then I started realizing now I was always playing with girls, and that's when I knew. And growing up, I was playing netball. Like a lot of things I was doing, guys, it was just there. I knew I didn't have to question myself. Yeah, you see, I think that's why even at home they're not even asking me, Themba, what's happening? They know. They know, so we don't have to talk about it. It's just that. So
I like this setup because now you see we have three different people experience three different things in different times, which is nice because now we get to look into perspectives of different upcomings of individuals, which is great. All of these questions are linked or have sub questions as the difficulties of you being aware of who you are. What were the difficulties and everything? But with you, I realized that it was there. And then with you, it was a different situation. People realized before you, and more or less they kind of scared you to want to hide who you really are. So just you can give them what you can protect yourself, if I can put it that way. Because if you're being yourself, they come at you. But if you're being someone that they want you to be, they don't come at you. So it was your way of protecting yourself. And with you, when did you realize?
I was quite young. And in hindsight, when I was in high school, and I thought about when I realized that I'm actually not straight, I was like, was I watching something? Maybe something informed me, something influenced me to be this way, because I was really young when I realized that I'm not like other girls. The self-discovery came about in that way. I was really, really young, and I was convinced that, things that I'm watching maybe are what's influencing me. Because why am I that young and I know that, Kunji. Then I was like, straight people move when they're young as well. So no one questions that you like a girl.
That's true.
In fact, your dad will ask you or your mom will ask you, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? But now I must feel bad that I'm attracted to whoever. You understand? I was really young. I think I was going to grade 1. I was going to grade 1 because I just did not relate to boys that way. I mean, I did, and I still do, but not on the level that I did with girls. It was just different. I don't know how to word it, but it was really, really different. And I started exploring more and talking to people more and interacting more with people. And I became very confident in who I was. And I was like, okay, fine. This is who I am. And there was this one girl. There was this one girl. I think I was in grade 4. She was always a grade above me. Then I got to like grade 5 and okay, now they're in grade 6. And her personality was starting to like also like blossom and like, you know, she was also very secure in herself. I don't know if that was a pretense or that was really who she was. But she no more than like this is who they are. And then I was like, oh, but where's that And every day that I would see the girl, I was like, I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to marry this person. Wow. And then, I left school. I left primary school and I went to finish high school in Rustenburg, and I was like,
you married Jenny?
No. It was my first. But I've ever since, I've always been secure in who I am. I just was not sure that it was acceptable or that it was real what I was feeling.
And that's something that I'm actually going next to. Acceptance. I'm just glad you brought it up. Like acceptance, okay. We will try like put it into 2 ways. First, like you accepting who you are, and then now will accepting who you are. And your family accepting who you are. Like with acceptance, it's like you labeling yourself and you identifying yourself. This I'm who. And
I'm gonna start with the labeling thing. I really don't like when somebody labels me. I'm not sure about you guys. You know, I can say that I'm gay, but then you don't have to rub it on my face or tell it all the time. You see. Yeah, I don't like that. With acceptance, I think it depends where you grew up. The environment has like big impact in your life.
Definitely.
So yeah, I grew up in a very supportive family, and also grew up in a place where there's not a lot of people. When I was a child, I was in a farm. Then I started moving to township and everything when I was doing grade 7. So that's why I was not experiencing such things, discrimination and all that. So yeah, but also accepting myself. I always knew, man. You know, when there's support around you, you don't have to accept yourself. Something like that. There's no need. Everybody knows, and you know yourself as well. And with people accepting me in the community, I don't care. I really don't. Like, you can view me anyhow, say whatever you want to say, nothing's gonna change. It is me. I'm who I am.
You have nice stories, man. I
mean, and I love that because it changes how we view your growth as a queer person.
Exactly.
Because everyone expects it to be just difficulty and pain, and you know, it's the same as how this is going to be very controversial, but it's real and it happens around us every day. It's the same thing as how like certain white people will interact with you in a certain way because you're black, or they'll give you certain responsibilities because you're black. And the first thing, and like they'll give you a task, and they'll say, "I don't think I'm cut out for this." Oh no, you're a strong black man. You can handle this.
Wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so they don't necessarily have to say it in those words, but you can just hear like underlying tones. This person expects because I am a certain way, I should be able to handle certain things. But my life doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't. My story doesn't have to be painful. I can tell a beautiful story and still be queer. I can tell a beautiful story and still be black. It doesn't have to mean all the time. So absolutely love that he has a positive story throughout, because it doesn't have to be hard, and it's not always hard.
I mean, life is nice, life is bad. It happens. It happens. Your story with acceptance. With you, I feel like it's always gonna start with outside people, because like you said, they identified you before you did, or like they labeled you before you did. So like, yeah, just give us your part on like acceptance.
Well, I feel like acceptance starts. So if you don't accept yourself, other people can't accept you, you know. So with me, I hadn't accepted myself. The minute I started, you know, hacking all the facets of my life and unpacking this entire, that's when I started accepting and loving myself for all that I am, you know, loving all the feminine parts of myself, all the masculine parts of myself, you know, embracing all of that. And then if people see that energy and that glow about you, that's when they can accept you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So yeah, that's my acceptance.
With your family, or how long did it take them to finally accept you? Salty, man.
No, salty
It's
is
a bit
fruity.
fruity.
So salty is
Well, actually really difficult because they're still in the process. So, I don't really care about anybody else except for my parents and my grandparents, you know, and of course my siblings. Those are their opinions matter the most to me, you know. So still in the process. Of course, my siblings and my cousins and they've accepted and we're good. Because our parents grew up in a different era, they're still having
difficulties.
Yeah, and that's okay because I always say that it took me a long time. It took me 18 years, so I'll give them however long they need to accept. You know, yeah.
I mean that's brave. Like I don't wanna lie. You know, having to deal with something that you only have hopes for. You know, like you're hoping that eventually they will accept you and they'll come to you and like say, "Oh, mtana ngiyakuthanda yeva," and you know, like it's very brave of you, man. Like I like the approach that you're taking. I feel like it's good because you cannot pressure people into accepting who you are. You just give them like so when they do, you know that it's genuine.
Exactly.
You know that it's genuine. It's not that I'm your child. Why can't you love me as I am? What? Like give them space and like. But I really hope that they see you for who you are and not what you are. Like I really hope. Like you know, people living in the past era, it's difficult, man, because they're always preaching about change. But they are the ones who are not changing.
That's the thing. And imagine experiencing discrimination outside. When you go back home, that's the back to
the love
exactly.
and all of that.
And like home is a safe space. Home is a safe, like there are so many things like
it's supposed to be.
replacing like a lot of stuff. Like friends eventually replace family. Hence we get codes like family is not by blood. It's someone who's there for you and you're down and all that. It's
and one thing about queer people, we find families, like we make our own families from
all the time.
Yeah.
I know people who've been kicked out of the house just because they're gay. You see? So yeah, that's why we make our own families and all that.
So like with you, did it come to a point where you had to disclose yourself to your parents, or like they just kinda like saw and like never accepted it, or like you sat them down and said, okay, family, this is what's happening, and what was their reaction, if that was the case?
I haven't sat my parents down. I don't feel like there's a need to do so right now, you know, because they have seen and they have, you know, had certain views, and I feel like we're not ready. We haven't reached that level yet, you know, for us to have that open discussion. But I have sat down other people within my family, and we've talked about it.
Nice. With you, like you said, the things happen.
You have to be comfortable and confident enough, you know. Be yourself. That's very attractive.
But you mentioned something earlier on, which is like kind of interesting. You said when you came here and you saw Salty, you made it more easy for you to like. What was your expectation with varsity? Like as you being you.
I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but then back at home, I really don't have friends. I've been scared like to have friends because you know how people are. So as long as I was getting love from home, I was like, I'm cool. Then coming to varsity, I was expecting that I'm gonna have to, especially being in the male's residence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna experience such things. I was very nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was very shy first year. It was worse. Like I couldn't even I'd be afraid to go to the bathroom inside, just not to be seen in the corridor. You see. Yeah, but then meeting Soti made everything easy for me because having someone who relates more to you and what you are, and we also talk about these things. Even like you can have friends around, as long as they know what you want, or I don't know. Let's say me and you are friends then, and you're straight. I'm just making an example. Then Soti is my gay friend. There are things I'm not gonna tell you because
I wouldn't relate.
Yes. That's why it helped me a lot.
That's beautiful. Salty. Give him a fist bump or a high five in fit. It's a combination of both. And then you're like, and you're like fist, but you get it. So like with you, did you have like a phase where you had to disclose to anyone that okay, yo?
No, I think I've always lived my life just in jail. Like I literally like fly by the seat of my pants. So if I'm experiencing some sort of attraction to a girl, and like I'll make a perfect example. We'll be at group and then I'll talk to a girl. We know what's going on. And then my friend will be like, man, you wanna carry her? What's going on? Or I'll tell a story the next day and I'll be like, listen, I have something to tell you. I met this girl and then they listen to me, and then eventually it's like, Emma B, huh? I'm like,
they missed you.
What do you mean? And I'm like, yes, it's like that, So that's how I just keep people on their toes. Like I just like you'll see it as and when life and time progresses. I'm not going to sit you down and say, listen, this is the situation, unless I feel like you're someone that I spend a lot of my time with, and you maybe keep saying things that are like derogatory or they are offensive to me or whatever. Then I'll be like, listen, it's not necessarily about me, but the things that you're saying are wrong, and this is why they are wrong. So with my family, I remember my mom and I had this back and forth one time where there's a little like cousin of mine who like family members would be like, so I would always speak up for that person, and it was like, you're so vocal about this. Are you one of them? And I would like my immediate response, obviously, because I don't know if this is a safe space for me to even disclose that, as much as you are my family. So I would just hold back and be like, no, I'm just speaking up for you. So it was only now when I became more confident to speak up. As confident as I was within myself and secure as I was in myself, I did not always feel secure enough to do that, even with my family. With my friends, I didn't care because I was like, friends come and go. If they don't like it, they can go. I don't care. But it was never the case. And it even became a joke at some point, like whenever you sing or whatever. Yeah, I didn't so things like that would make me feel like, okay, my friends get it, But with my family, I always kind of like had to tiptoe, and it would come out in bits and pieces. Like something would happen on TV, and then maybe my sister will say something, and I'll be like, you say this, or rather don't say anything, or this is the correct way. So in little ways, and then me becoming part of subcom, to them it was always a thing, I'm just an ally. And I was just like, I'm lying to myself, I'm lying to these people. So one sweet day, I just sent them the longest email in Clary, all of them, and I said, Unje.
Wow.
So
it's a super massive, like
I literally went from I don't give a damn to giving a damn.
You switched your phone after.
I was like this. And literally the response was okay, a bit of a fight ensued, but not because they were against me or anything. But yeah, it just went from not caring to caring. And so I've always accepted myself. I've never had that battle. It was just, for me, my family needs to understand, I need them to be sensitive about certain things, but at the same time I want them to be honest. And you can be honest and be sensitive at the same time, And I personally don't like the word acceptance. I like it in the sense that you are finally coming to who you are and this is who I am, whatever. But I don't like it because it kind of suggests that being straight is the end all and be all. It suggests that there is something wrong with me. Because when you say accept the situation for what it is, most of the time you're dealing with pain, you're dealing with grief, you're dealing with confusion. So when you use the word acceptance, it's as if there is indeed something wrong with me, but there isn't. It's just realizing that this is who I am and just being honest with it and yourself. And but I understand why we use the word acceptance. I was just trying to highlight why.
It's actually good what you did, and I
It's for the
actually
people around
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes, not me. And even for them, I forget her name, but she's a brilliant speaker. She's a trans black woman, and she says that there's a part where in her video where she's doing an acceptance award, and she says, "I take the word acceptance from you. That is for me to accept myself. It's not for you, because my lived experiences should not affect you in any way, shape, or form. All you have to do is be my friend, be my mother, be my partner, whatever. Anything else, that's about me."
Like, guys, you heard it here. It was like very, very, very nice and very informative, and somehow it was very personal, of which I like it because I feel like it's more important for people to actually know and understand what you guys are really dealing with in order to they won't necessarily be in your shoes because they're not Cinderella, they won't fit. But as I was saying, so let's just try by all means. This is my something that we are trying to achieve. And you mentioned something about Ella. I think a lot of people who support, who always there for the people, who stand up for them, who voice out for them, people who are just your support in a way. So I'm just trying to encourage all of us to try. And like she said, if you have nothing to say, that's good. If you'd rather not say anything about, if you can't accept it, then don't criticize. If you just can't live with people, then don't think they don't exist or they're not worthy of existing. Let them be and be yourself. Mind your business. Let them mind their business. So guys, this was the first episode. I'm looking forward to the second episode because there's more to speak about and there's so much more information that we could have shared, but because of duration, you get it. But it's nice even part 2, and the part 2 will simply be diving into lifestyle and life choices So yeah, stay tuned, look out for it, and please share it with everyone. Let's try to spread the awareness and let's make Earth a home for everyone. Not for people that we want to make home for. So guys, yep, that's it.
Oh, goody goodos, Magundi. We have reached the end of our episode. If you like the video, hit that like button. And if you want more of this great show, hit that subscribe icon and the notification bell to hear from us again. Do follow us on all respective social media platforms. Same handle. And we're now listening with BM at Podcast. That was the content, guys. Hope you like it and I hope you love it. Till next time, bye.